So I wanted to first say, Sana, for joining us on this evening's program. Excited to have you on with us. Did you want to share anything additional about yourself, or did you want to go straight into your 3 things that the black woman must do to help get us free?
I'd like for us to go straight into it, and I really appreciate the introduction. I appreciate you, Sister Nefertari, for doing this most important show.
Yes, sir.
Some of the things that we may say may overlap in what was said in a previous show, but I would like to say that in order for our sisters to help us, the first step to solving any problem is to admit or to point out what the real problem is. And to be just blunt and straight to the point is, our problem is that we're living under the authority of white people who are unrighteous and unjust. And we live under that authority for one reason, and that reason is that black people, particularly black men, have lost in warfare to whites. And we lost in warfare to whites mostly because of their deception and lies. So as the first thing coming out the gate for black women, the practical thing that they can do is to universally declare among themselves and among our children that we are at war with whites, which would mean that we would have to stop teaching our children to love and be like whites, but begin to give the children from a very young age a thorough knowledge of themselves and their history, our history with whites, why we need to survive in the household. And a good benchmark start with that would be by just simply telling our children their original story. I'd start with that, with the children first. I believe that another practical thing that our sisters can do is to stop supporting degenerate black men and integrationists, people like R. Kelly, who urinate and desecrate the value of black women. We shouldn't see just lines of black women lining up at his concerts. And even if there are women lining up at his concerts, I think that women should break their pact that they have where they don't criticize or are uncritical of bad behavior of other black women. And I think they should be very vocal about not supporting degenerates and having babies for integrationist Negroes, which these babies ultimately grow up to destroy good black men and women. I had also that I believe that black women should realize that the kitchen is the front line to any battle. I think that our sisters should know how not just to cook, but how to entertain at the table, and those topics that they should talk about at the table while entertaining, which are liberation topics. And I think that most black women could get them a conscious sparring partner. And this is someone who you have respect for, who you know is totally dedicated to the upliftment and liberation of black people, who you can talk to, so that when we go through war, and we are at war, and we have to live like we are at war, when you feel a little weak, you could go to this sister who is a mentor, who is not telling you to be down on the black man, but telling you how to endure through the battle so that we get the ultimate prize. I believe with all my heart, particularly conscious sisters who are conscious shouldn't lose their ability to become consolers and to offer men solace, peace of mind, and contentment, to not blab out or repeat what a black man gives you in his black box, meaning that every black man has secrets, military secrets, as well as personal things that have happened to him during the course of his battle or his life. I think that sisters should encourage other sisters not, when you get mad, to use that stuff as a weapon of mass destruction against the black man. I believe that we should stop making excuses when our children, like Trayvon Martin, are murdered, or Oscar Grant in California, or Sean Bell in New York, or our elderly sister Kathy Johnson down in Georgia. It motivates us much if the black woman would just take these practical steps and learn how to motivate black men to win a war. But the first step is there has to be a declaration of war by black women. And last, but certainly not least, we cannot have black women more loyal to the church and the white God system, whether it be masked in Islam, Christianity, or Judaism, and expect a black man to trust her. So we must abolish all white so-called spirituality and replace that immediately with some type of confidence in the Creator who created us to be an authority over us and not whites in authority over us. So I just would start out with those few simple things.
Well, they're excellent places to start. And I just want to recap those top three and correct me if I misstate you in any of these. The first one you said is that we should point out the problem. We should universally declare that we are at war with whites, and we should tell our children our story so that we can further pass on that information and instill in the fact that we are at war with whites. The second one was to stop supporting degenerates and integrationists, and you gave an example of R. Kelly. And we all know the R. Kelly story unfortunately, very well. And the third one was the kitchen is the front line of any battle. And are you saying, brother, that's a controversial one? Are you saying that black women need to get back in the kitchen?
I'm saying
I'm just messing with
that they need to be soldiers enough, be security-minded enough, not to allow carcinogens and poisons into their men and children's stomachs and bodies. I'm saying they should be disciplined soldiers enough to resist McDonald's French fries and fast food that leads to a fast death. I'm saying that the original woman knew how to cook.
Yes, sir.
Knew how to take care of her husband. Knew how to keep his attention. I want to say just something that I know you know, but sisters need to know. You have to know how to compliment your men. You have to know how to have a interesting conversation with your man where you can just talk to him honestly and openly and let him be completely honest with you. You have to know that when you are with a black man that this is a team and not individualism, and shun individualism. You have to encourage your man to enter into businesses and that he can do it and be his number one cheerleader. And he's yours also. But we're talking about what you can do. You have to be able to, even though you're a soldier, you have to be able to laugh with your man, so to speak, and make him happy and allow him to make you happy and to please you. And last but certainly not least, when there is disagreement, which disagreement is natural, we have to learn, or the sisters have to learn, to voice that disagreement in the most civilized manner, giving critique, if you will, but do it in a soft tone so that you don't arouse the poor man's ego and tear him down and beat him down, because when you chop him up and put him on a plate, he'll be yours to eat.
Food for thought. That's excellent, brother. Appreciate that. Very, very strong. And what we're going to do is I'm going to mute you, but of course I'm going to bring you back on after we've gone through the two other brothers, and to see if you have any other additional comments or suggestions. And of course, when the callers begin to come in, we'll allow you to comment on those as well. So Asante signing for that, brother.
Thank you, sister.
All right, we're going to go to Brother Free. One moment here. Brother Free, can you hear me okay?
Absolutely, I'm here.
Asante signing, good brother. I'm so happy that you were able to join us this evening and you accepted the offer to be a part of this evening's program. Did you need me to correct anything in terms of your introduction, or did you want to add anything, or did you want to go straight to your 3 suggestions?
No, I won't add anything. You did an excellent job.
Asante.
I'll just say asante to you for allowing us to come on and be a part of this show. I think it's very important that we have these discussions where we involve male and female points of view. So,
Asante, thank you very much for that. Indeed, thank you so much. So what do you have for us this evening as your 3 suggestions for what the black woman must do to help get us free?
Well, my three. Well, first, I have to say, when you first approached me about doing it, I was kind of skeptical because, in my experience, whenever men get involved in conversations that involve critiquing or criticizing black women, that it causes problems because black women are automatically resistant to hearing criticism from black men. So the first thing that came to mind when you asked the question was black women need to grow up. And I know it sounds harsh, but I don't mean it in a harsh manner. I mean, literally, we know that a lot of these things that we're talking about doing, they take families and they take relationships. Well, there has to be a lot of humility and introspection to be able to have healthy relationships. So I would say that black women need to consciously work on emotional maturity.
And how can they do that? That, like, specific? Give an example.
An example. Well, we know that we're all manifestations of our experiences. Now, we know that black women have had a tremendous amount of negative experiences, whether it be their own experiences or experiences they've seen with other women, that they harbor, negative feelings about. And those feelings tend to come up in our relationships and cause issues that have nothing to do with the relationship that you may have with your personal complement. Which it ends up turning us into enemies and having us battle within our household. So I would say emotional maturity.
Got you. Excellent.
For the first one. Second one would be stop basing the quality of your relationship on romantic love.
We can't have no romantic. Ain't we Romans? I thought we were Romans or we Spartans. Or we Spartans?
No, we are not.
We the Norfolk Spartans. Norfolk Spartans, right?
We're definitely not Romans. We're not Spartans. We're Africans. And Africans, we base our relationships on practical things.
Okay.
Not, whether the brother brings you flowers or he bought you a card or some idea that was given to you by the TV or some romance novel. We need to turn the TV off, get rid of romance novels, stop listening to the radio, because the ideas that come from those things are generated out of the mind of small hats. And small hats are trying to kill us, either physically or emotionally or mentally. So we need to stop following what whites give us through media and through Negroes to base our relationships on.